Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. It's BMW Dr. Dean here. Today we're going to be changing the drive belt, tensioner and the idler pulley on the E61, the N52. As you know, we just changed the oil cooler gasket and the oil filter housing gasket. They needed changing, and obviously, as you know, the belt's been replaced on this, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, but I don't know when the tensioner was ever changed, as people don't usually replace that, as they seem to think it don't go on BMW. It is a common problem on them, and they do go, and when they do go, it wraps your belt around the whole of the drive system. We don't want that. So we are going to be changing them pulleys. You've probably seen in my previous video I did it on mine, so we're going to be doing it again on this one. They have to be done due to the obviously oil and coolant getting onto them, and not just that, the tension over time gets a lot of grease on it from oil leaks, and it'll have all grease behind it. As you probably saw in my previous video, my other one was covered in dirt. This one's going to be the same, no doubt. So we're going to start cracking on here. I'm going to get all the tools ready. First thing we're going to remove is this slam panel. Once that's out of the way, I will show you how to do it step by step. And obviously we're back once I get started. As you can see guys, the first thing you're going to want to remove is the slam panel. Now as you can see, these have got a load of Torx bolts. I think they're Torx 25 or Torx 30, I can't remember it correctly. But you want to take the slam panel up, and obviously you don't need to take it completely off, just move it up on top of the engine and leave it there, and then you'll be able to get the fan out. Now remember, the fan has two clips that you have to pull it in. Don't try and yank the fan out because you'll hit the coolant pipe. You don't want to do that. So after you've done that, once the fan's out, which I'm going to be showing you in a step by step, but I'm just giving you the heads up beforehand. So get this off, then get your fan out. The fan is not hard to get out. You move the clips aside and then pull the fan out. It slides straight out. I'll be showing you that next. Let's get these bolts off. I'm going to record some of it. I ain't going to be able to record all of it, but I'm going to record showing you what bolts you need to remove. You don't need to remove ones like this, which connect down here. This just connects underneath. You just need it to the radiators. You just need this one here, and these two. All the ones you can see that connect the slam panel to the body. So you don't need to remove them all. So once that's done, we'll get that out and we'll get the fan out. So guys, as you can see as I go, I'm going to start removing these Torx right here. As you can see, these are the ones that connect the slam panel, to the body of the car. You just remove them. This one connects the headlight, so you need to remove that. That one holds the headlight onto the bracket. Also this one, which is right here, remove that one. And obviously these two here, they hold the car down, but you just want to leave them two there. As you can see, you don't need to touch them. And that one, just remove that one. They are quite stiff. They will be quite stiff as well if it's never been removed, so just remember that to take care. Some of them will be extra tight depending on if it's ever been removed, but I know this one has, as it's had the radiator replaced as it did go. So obviously in that one as well, and that one. And what you can do is get an impact gun and remove them as well after you've loosened them up. It is a lot quicker, but they do tend to go out and you've got to be careful not to drop them out. So as you can see, all them are released. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and remove them by hand, and we're back once I get the slam panel up, and I'll show you where you can position it on the car. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've got all the bolts off, and in total there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bolts that you've got to release from the slam panel. Now as you can see, the slam panel also connects to these little cable clips here, so what you want to do is just lift them up like that and take them out. And then obviously, as you see, the slam panel's already loose. Now you just lift it up and then move it up like that out the way. And it does move out the way, as you just saw there. So there's no need to do anything else. Now next thing you're going to want to do is remove this radiator clip pipe off here and just move it out the way there. It's not an issue to hold it there. Next thing will be your radiator electrics, which is for the fan itself. You just want to we need to use probably a tool to get this out because it probably hasn't been out for a long time. Usually they come out, but this one's a bit stiff. So I'm going to have to probably get a tool and pull that out. So guys, after you've got that up there, next thing you want to do is start removing the screws here that hold the fan in. There's 3 of them. As you can see, you want to just remove all them and then take this cover off, and then the fan was just going to slide out, and I'll show you where the clips are after you get this out. These are a Torx 25. Just want to release all 3 of them, okay? And then it pulls out from under here, and you will need to tuck it back in under here as well because it tucks in. And obviously it just covers the fan shroud, but obviously there's clips down here right in the corner, which are here, that you just flap in and then pull the fan out. So as you can see guys, there's the clip right here, down here in the corner. I've clipped it now in, and now what we're going to do is we're going to pull it out. There isn't another one on this side. This one just now, what we will do is just pull straight out like this. As you can see there, it does pull out, but you've got to remember there's hoses connected down here that you have to get off the clips. And once they're off, the fan will come out. There isn't much room to maneuver in here either, but as you can see, that's the way it comes out. You just got to get there's another hose at the bottom that you've got to dismount from all the clips. That one you don't usually see, but I just remembered it is there from my one. You just take off the clips and the fan will just come straight out. And then as you will see, the fan comes out like that. So now you can see it's out, and then you've got full access to all the pulleys, the tensioner and the idler pulley, which is exactly what you want. You want access down here. As I can see, it's not losing coolant. Just keep moving this hose out of the way because it does keep flicking back. And obviously there's a tensioner right above here, and obviously you can release the tensioner straight away. You don't have to release the tension on it. You can just actually release the bolt and it will just release the belt anyway. But obviously I'm going to go ahead and do it like so. And we're going to come back after now I release the idler pulley, which the idler pulley you're going to need, I believe it's a metric socket. You need to take this cap off as well with a flathead screwdriver. Be careful it don't drop in the engine bay, you don't want to lose it. And for this one is a Torx 55 that you put in here to release the tension on the belt, and you're going to want to use a 1/2 inch torque wrench to release that, or a breaker bar, because nothing else is going to bring the tension back on that apart from that. Don't even try and use a normal ratchet because it just won't do it. Even an extendable one, it will end up rebounding off. So my advice to you is use a torque ratchet or a torque wrench as you call it to release it. There you have it. This is a 17mm socket, and you just want to turn it obviously counterclockwise, and it's going to release the idler pulley. These are only torqued to, I think it's 22 Newton meters, and the idler pulley, the tensioner pulley is torqued to 23 and then a 90-degree turn, which I'll be showing you how to do that after. But this one comes off pretty easily, so that's the first one we're going to replace. We are going to take the tension off the belt first, obviously, but obviously I just wanted to make sure that wasn't a metric socket, which I've remembered now it's a socket. So let's just get the tension off the belt, and then obviously we'll get on to replacing all the pulleys. So as you can see guys, the tension is now off, the belt's now loose. We're going to be taking this belt out as well, which is right here, and obviously you want to unravel it from all around the pulleys obviously, as it will come out. And you've got to remember how this belt went to put it back on. As I always say in all my videos, if you're not sure, draw a diagram of how it goes to remember how it goes, otherwise it will confuse you and you won't know how to pull it back on. And if you don't have Vista D or someone to show you how the belt guide goes back on, you won't know either. So my best advice is to do a map of it. Obviously, like I say, luckily I know, as I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times already, but many of you that don't, this is the easiest way. Now as you can see, the belt's out. The belt don't look too in bad condition, as I know they only recently changed this about 2 years ago, so it ain't that bad. Tensioner as well doesn't look so bad, but not as bad as my one did, but it still could do a change in. This is an inner one as well, which means it has been changed in its life, but I'm still going to change it regardless. So what we're going to do is now go and put the other one back on. I'm going to tighten it down with this by hand, and then we're going to Torx it back up the bolts. So let's get ahead and do that, and we're going to remove the idler pulley first, which you know is 70mm. That one just unbolts straight away. Again, that has to be torqued up, which I'll keep talking you through after. So as you can see guys, belt is out, idler pulley's off. Now the idler pulley I don't think's ever been changed, because that was too damn tight, like it had come from the factory torqued. So I'm glad I'm replacing that. As you can see, there's oil running down the block, which I believe has come from the oil filter housing itself, and nobody's ever clocked it. So I'm glad I've replaced that, because it looked like it's been running straight down here onto the pulleys, as you can see there. So that to me looks like it's coming from here, and the gasket's now been replaced, so that's all lovely jubbly. So next thing now is bolting back on the idler pulley and the tensioner pulley. So guys, tension is in, and now with the tensioner, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hand tighten it first, then you're going to want to torque this down to 25 Newton meters and then a 90-degree angle. Now it's not hard to do. If you've got a torque degree wheel, the item will be in my description what I use to do this, but it's very easy to torque them down. They don't need much torquing, so it's 25 Newton meters and 90-degree angle. Idler pulley is 40 Newton meters only. There's no torque degree on it, nothing, just 40 Newton meters done. So guys, we're going to be using my favourite wrench, which is the Draper torque wrench, and obviously to release the tension and open the tension, I use the big one. This is a very good tool, as I tell you all the time. This is the ones I use all the time. They click correctly, they're calibrated correctly, and they're very accurate, as I say. So now I'm going to go ahead and torque this up and then do the 90-degree angle, and I'll be back soon to show you what you got to use to do the torque degree. So guys, I don't know if you can see that, but this is the torque degree wheel, and now what you want to do is you want to hold this part right here, the little bit on the top, and then you also want to turn it to a 90-degree angle, which as you can see there's a 90-degree angle. Don't know if you can see it properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach this to the tensioner, and then we're just going to rotate it 90 degrees. As I said to you, this is the only one that has to be rotated to a degree angle. The idler pulley has to just be torqued to, I believe it's 40 Newton meters, and that's it. And that does that. See, so what you can do if you prefer is just look at the torque degree wheel and then know where to turn it from a 0-degree angle to a 90-degree angle. Now the next one is the idler pulley. That's 40 Newton meters. And of course, again, you have to use your torque wrench for it, recalibrate it, reset it, so then run it all the way down to 0, run it all the way back up, and keep doing that. So the spring, you get a proper calibration and a proper exact figure for where 40 Newton meters is, and it doesn't overdo the thread. Now the idler pulley is now fitted and it's been torqued up. As you can see, it still spins nicely, but it's tight. You don't want to over tighten that bolt. Like I say, thread it in by hand and then torque it up. After you've done that, always remember to undo your torque wrench and let it rest. Always zero it back out. Don't ever leave it calibrated, ready to go again. The spring needs to adjust, and always calibrate them upwards and downwards before use. Always with your torque wrench. It's something I learned while I was in the garage. You do not ever want to leave them calibrated. Believe me, when it comes to torquing them, you end up snapping a bolt. It's always easier to leave them uncalibrated and unlocked. Don't ever leave your torque wrench calibrated. Now, another thing is, always put them back in their cases, and always ever have them ready, because you do need a torque wrench when you want to do this tensioner. Trust me, no other tool is going to do that apart from unless you've got a very good breaker bar that's going to be able to fit a T55 on that to bring that tensioner down. Okay guys, so the belt is now fitted, as you can see. It's all fitted now. Before you even start the car, put anything back together, please make sure all the belts are lined up on their pulleys correctly. You do not want it jumping off the pulleys when you start the car. Also, make sure that cap's back on for that bolt, which I've just put back on myself. Also, just go around and take your time. Do not rush to put it all back and start the car. You don't want to do that. Check every pulley, make sure they're all correct, make sure they're all aligned. That's how the pattern it should be. As you can see there, I've got it in the camera. That's the pattern of the belt. So if you do get stuck, there's going to be your image, so you can see how it looks. So you know how to reroute the belt properly on it. So it goes, let me just explain it to you. So it will go round here on the alternator, round the idler pulley back down here, round that pulley here, and then you want to go back round the crankshaft pulley, round the tensioner, round the aircon pump, and then back round. That's the route of it. And obviously, providing you follow that, you should be fine changing your belt on your own. But I do advise you, it is a must have torque wrenches. You will not succeed on this job without a torque wrench. Also, you need to have a torque 60 to release that tensioner. They get bigger and bigger every time I seem to do them or change the size. It was a torque 55 last time, now I'm using a torque 60 to release it. It's absolute joke. So there you go guys. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the radiator back in, the fan back in, sorry, and then we'll start the car up. Okay guys, so we're back, and oh god, that was an absolute nightmare. So upon putting on the radiator back on, I found out that this is what happens when you go to non-German specialists in this country, or people just don't understand BMW. So what the last garage had done, and obviously I knew it was them because the guy said he had the radiator replaced, they had wrapped the coolant pipe that runs around the fan shroud and runs up here into their clips, around the other way around the oil hose pipes, and run it back onto the chassis where it connects onto the chassis, onto the connector. So literally, they're very lucky whoever done that that belt never cut it, because I've had that before, where the pulley alternator belt has cut the water pipes, and that is so lucky that I caught that in time, and I realised that now before that I'd done any damage to the car. So I've now sorted that back out and put it back the way the manufacturer expected it. I hope I don't see another BMW like that, because that is a dangerous mistake waiting to happen. If your coolant lets go on the middle of the road, man, that's everything toast already. New brand new water pump, you're going to be spending another £500. But I don't know if you can see it right there. That was the coolant pump up there on the chassis right there that I had to redo. It had been wrapped up the other way. This is what I mean about people who just don't understand BMW at all, and then they shouldn't touch them. I'd rather the garages be honest and say, look, we can't work on BMW. We never have. We don't understand them properly. We're not taking the risk. Then trying to take money and trying to work on something they know nothing about, because this is the kind of crap that I'm having to go around doing for people who just do not understand these cars. And I'm having to fix them, and I'm always finding garages mistakes. Like a normal person wouldn't realise that. They don't even know how it connects. But I know from having the same car, that pipe does not run like that. So thank God I found that one. Okay guys, so that's the car complete now. So now I've just showed you how to change your drive belt, tensioner and your idler pulley. As you know, I know what I'm doing here. I've done it before. Car will start perfect. Also, while in this video, I'm just going to show you something else. This is the liquids I keep going on about, which is Forte. As you can see, petrol specialist injector cleaner. They also do oil fortifier, and as you'll probably see on the bottle as well, if I can find it, it does state here as well that it's only for professional use only. As you can see there, for professional trade use only. Obviously I have a trade account. This is only available in the UK. This stuff is very good in this country. It's not like nothing you have in America, like Seafoam or anything like that. This stuff does what it says in a tin. I use a product called Forte Seal Conditioner, which heals the valve stem seals, but also this is an oil fortifier. This does stop oil burning, and it reduces the consumption. As you can see there, this stuff does have 5-star reviews on the Amazon UK website. I recommend all the US people as well go and check this stuff out. I highly recommend this. They do a seal conditioner, which if you've got a valve stem seal problem, believe me, that stuff works and does stop. It softens all your seals and works. It's nothing like you get radiator stop leak and things that will clog your engine and mess it up. This stuff is high-tech stuff, and it's what we used to use in the trading when I was in BMW as well. We used to have this on the shelf all the time. Before we even would do an engine rebuild for valve stem seals, we'd always try that, and after 500 miles the owner would only be happy and only recommend it even more, that the product was top quality. I do recommend these products. As you see, I'm going to put this in the injector clip in the petrol tank, and it does work as well. It works on my car. My car was running like absolute rubbish until I used this in my car. I also use the motor flush. They do a cooling system, degreaser. They do everything for everything on a car engine, and these are top quality products. Like I say, you cannot beat this. There is nothing else I would trust or even use this day and age apart from Forte. I trust them. I used to use them when I was in the garages, and we used to have this always ready on the shelf, ready to go. It's suitable for all engines, and it actually, like I say, it reduces your consumption, and that also cleans your injectors and all your system. Obviously, because there was blown CCV, I'll put this in. This will clean all the cylinder walls, all the piston rings, and release any sticking pistons that is going on in there. So thanks for watching, guys. This is the BMW Dr. Dean here. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, share and subscribe it. Please leave a comment in the box below. All the products will be listed in my description below. Obviously, for the US people, you will have to go elsewhere to find it, or you'll have to order it from the UK store and pay the shipping. Apart from that, anybody in the UK, you'll be able to get this. They work out at £14 a bottle. It's all varies around £15 for each item, but I've got a lot of them on the shelf as it is. I'm just restocking up with this as well. So please go and check it out. This is BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.